Welcome to the Silence in the Mist audiobook. This is part 2 of the prologue titled The Journey to Woodberry. This excerpt introduces Marcus's arrival in Woodberry, capturing an atmosphere of unease and growing tension. Marcus's preparation, loading his revolver, gathering his belongings, hints at his awareness of the dangers lurking in this mysterious town. Before getting out of the car, Marcus made sure he was prepared. He took his revolver, quickly checked it before placing it in the holster hidden under his coat. He also grabbed his private detective credentials and his belongings, all carefully stored in his briefcase. He knew he had to be ready for anything, especially in a place like Woodberry. As he stepped out of the car, the cold air wrapped around him, and Marcus pulled up the collar of his coat. He crossed the entrance of the hotel, the glass door chiming as it opened, announcing his arrival. Inside, the atmosphere was gloomy, with decor that seemed unchanged since the 70s. A tired-looking man with an unkempt beard and dark circles under his eyes watched him from behind the counter. Marcus approached and asked for a room for the night. The receptionist barely looked up as he handed over the key without asking questions. Marcus took the key, thanked him quietly, and headed towards the stairs leading to the second floor. The room was small, with a single bed, a nightstand, and a window overlooking the forest. Marcus placed his suitcase on the bed and decided to take a hot shower. He needed to clear his mind and relax after the long journey. The hot water was comforting, and for a moment, the weight of the case seemed to lift. However, as he left the bathroom, drying his hair, something caught his attention. There was a shadow at the window, a barely visible figure that seemed to be watching him from the dark street. Marcus froze, his heart pounding. The streetlight outside flickered, its glow erratic. He moved slowly towards the window, eyes fixed on the shadow, but as soon as he looked out, the figure disappeared, and the streetlight returned to its normal, steady glow, illuminating the street with a disconcerting consistency. It had lasted barely 3 seconds, but the impact was profound. Marcus felt the tension return to his muscles. There was something strange about Woodberry, something he couldn't explain, but it was clear that it wasn't going to be a quiet night. He stepped away from the window, trying to suppress the shiver running down his spine. He had come here to find answers, and nothing was going to stop him. This room would be his base while he was in town, and Marcus knew he had to prepare for whatever was to come. He pulled out his notebook and began reviewing the information Liam had provided. There were photos of Anna and Evan, both smiling at the camera, unaware of the fate that awaited them in Woodberry. Marcus ran his fingers over one of the photographs, trying to find some clue. What had drawn them here? Why had no one seen or heard from them since? And most disturbingly, why did the police and FBI seem so disinterested in the case? Liam was convinced that there was something more, something the authorities didn't want to reveal, and Marcus shared that suspicion. The sound of the rain intensified, and Marcus got up from the bed to look out the window once more. The shadows of the forest seemed to move under the flickering streetlights, as if something were lurking among the trees. Marcus knew he couldn't afford to give in to fear. He had come to Woodberry to find answers, and although the place was increasingly unsettling, he was determined to fulfill his mission. The next day, he would begin his investigation in town. He would speak to the few residents who remained, visit the places where Anna and Evan had last been seen, and try to retrace their steps. But for now, all he could do was wait for dawn to disperse at least part of the fog that shrouded Woodberry. He turned off the night lamp and lay down on the bed, closing his eyes. The sound of the rain lulled him, but there was something in the air, an ineffable presence, something that seemed to whisper his name from the shadows. The journey to Woodberry had only just begun. As his thoughts drifted into darkness, one last image crossed his mind. Anna's smile in the photograph, a smile that now seemed a sad omen of what was to come. The silence in the mist was deep, and Marcus had the unsettling feeling that, beyond the haze, something was watching, patiently waiting for his next move.